2K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Tonight we'll be watching the Utah Jazz playing against the Chicago Bulls at United Center. And guys, for the Bulls, they'll look to attack, but with efficiency. They want to push the action, but they also want to make the most out of their possessions. They feel that's the key to being competitive on a consistent basis. You look at the success this Utah team has had the last few seasons. Shaq, a lot of it stems from their willingness to work on D.
It all starts with the big man, Rudy Gobert, one of the best rim protectors in the game. Just funnels things in his direction.
Well, it's not just Gobert, though, Shaq. They got a lot of capable defenders up and down that roster. Plus, you have a coach in Snyder, and he was a really good defensive-minded coach.
With the game just about ready to begin, we send it to Kevin Harlan with the call.
We have the cameras on the Jazz team bus pulling into the arena. And the game arrival, sponsored by Express. Dress like a pro. Nightfall in the Windy City with the Willis Tower and the rest of downtown Chicago lighting up the sky. Welcome, sports fans. Thanks for joining us. It's the NBA on 2K Sports. Our broadcast team tonight, on one side, Greg Anthony. On the other side, Steve Smith. And on the sideline, David Aldridge. I'm Kevin Harlan. Hey, Dave.
Head coach Quinn Snyder is trying to help the Jazz break through in a crowded Western Conference. Snyder said, "There's always challenges, and I'm comfortable with adversity. I just want to keep the right perspective. I've got something that I love to do." And Kevin, he is one of the biggest reasons the Jazz is always a factor.
He is doing a great job. Thank you, D.A. And checking out Utah's opening lineup. At the forward slots, it's Bogdanovich and Ingles. Conley and Mitchell, the talented backcourt pair. And it's Gobert in at the 5, down low. And for Chicago, Porter and Markkanen, the duo at forward. White and Levine team up in the backcourt. And it's Carter in at the center position.
Well, last season's a season of change for the Bulls. They missed the playoffs with a 22-win season. And they did have a change of head coaches. Not the results many hoped for going into the year.
And it's going to be the Jazz off the tip. Conley against White. Here's Gobert. Pass to Mitchell. First shot, first basket. He's out of the blocks fast. Smitty, as you said, the Bulls were a pick by many to compete last season.
Yeah, and this team, they continue to tinker with this roster. They made the trade for Otto Porter to be a part of their future. And you know what? The rebuild continues on. There's a built-in respect for coaches who played in the NBA. The Jazz, Quinn Snyder, never made it that far. But as a point guard, he helped Duke make 3 Final Four appearances.
Now here's Conley. Here's the floater. He lays it in.
And that's where Conley is most dangerous. Just amazing quickness on his way to the rack.
White looking around. Pass to Levine. White finds Markkanen. Just 5 to shoot. Now the pass to Levine. Trains the three-pointer. Levine's got 5.
The height to see over the defense and the unselfishness. Terrific pass by Markkanen.
Conley, the pass to Gobert. Mitchell dishes to Conley. Launches a 3. Score the basket, his second of 2 attempts.
Both teams running perimeter-oriented plays that are working.
How often do we see this these days? Clubs answering each other from range.
Levine against Mitchell. Now here's Levine. Three-pointer. No good on the last second attempt there. So at the end of one quarter of play, still a close game. Jazz lead by 2. And don't go away. We'll be back with the action for the start of the second quarter in just a moment. It wasn't an immediate star turn for Mike Conley in the NBA. He talked about that journey.
The ups and downs of injuries and early on in my career not being able to be consistent enough to be considered a top guard in the league and making myself work that much harder to get my game to a level where I feel that I can compete against anybody in the league. And that's what I'm most proud of, is just being able to withstand that.
Great work ethic is the key. Conley stayed at it.
And a player that's known for keeping his composure, that helps also. He weathered those early challenges and just stayed positive.
And some good action in the books as we get back to the game that's been pretty close here so far. And guys, what's your take on Utah so far?
Well, they've been aggressive from the beginning, particularly on the offensive end.
And that has helped them build an advantage here, playing with good focus and good energy.
They've got Thomas Satoransky. He's out there with Dunn. Valentine out there with Young. And it's Hutchinson in at the 4 spot. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago. And we've got an update here, so let's catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, coming into the 2017 draft, Donovan Mitchell wasn't sure he was ready for the NBA. Mitchell said, "I worked out in the summer with Paul George and Chris Paul, and they were the ones who convinced me to keep my name in the draft. They said, look, you're good enough. Just go out there and show it." And Kevin, through a couple of seasons in Utah, that's exactly what Mitchell has done.
He has made an instant impact on the NBA and the Jazz. D.A., thank you. And with that shot, the Jazz lead is cut down to just 2 points with the bucket from Thaddeus Young.
Poor interior defense. If you play him soft, he's going to kill you.
Now, here's Exum. Passes it to Green. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Green. So Chicago ends up going with the new group. And so it's Carter who brings the ball up for Chicago. It's stolen by Ingles. About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks.
And really, these are some of the toughest calls an official has to make.
White against Conley. Pass to Gobert. Back to Conley. 5 on the clock.
Bringing a competitive energy to the defensive end. White stays connected to his man and plays with active hands.
3-pointer, Markkanen. It doesn't go for him. And that'll do it for the first half. A competitive game so far. It's the Jazz. They lead by a bucket. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thank you, Kevin. With Coach Quinn Snyder. Quinn, what has to happen in the second half?
Well, we got to keep getting stops and really just make plays. Make plays on the offensive end and be solid defensively. No magic.
It's a pretty simple game, right, Coach? Thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. And we'll be back for the third quarter of action following halftime.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey again, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson. Shaq is here. Kenny's here. You're watching the NBA Halftime Show on 2K Sports. Utah found themselves in a close game in the first. At the end of the period, they held a 2-point lead. The second quarter was dead even in terms of their scoring output for both teams, and they still find themselves in a good position at the half. And, Kenny, what'd you see out there from the Jazz?
I was super impressed with their shot selection. I think that was part of the strategy coming in. They wanted to be patient with the basketball, move it around, and get high percentage looks. Obviously, that's going to be big.
And, Shaq, what'd you think about Chicago?
Scoring in the paint, that's an area where they can improve. With the defense sagging in, they settle for a lot of jump shots in the first half. Coming out of the break, I think it'll be better running off pick and rolls, hitting cutters, moving toward the hoop. That old Boston Celtics style basketball.
And that's a wrap. With the third quarter approaching, we now send you back to Kevin and the crew.
And we've got second half action for you. Thus far, a pretty evenly contested game. You look at Michael Conley, what a contribution.
There is no stopping him, and you can't even contain him at this point. He is that talented.
Yeah, and sometimes the strategy in that case, don't let anyone else beat you. You know he's going to get his, so try and keep it to that.
And we're halfway through this one. Plenty of basketball left in a game that's been fairly even so far. Chicago trailing here. Checking out the group for Quinn Snyder to start the second half. Conley and Mitchell, the talented backcourt pair. Inside, we have Ingles and Gobert. And it's Bogdanovich in at the small forward position. White against Conley. For the tie, and 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot. And the foul goes against Utah. Smitty, every team has its leaders, either official or unofficial. What's expected, in your opinion, out of a team captain?
Well, I think leadership. I mean, also have the same, I guess, voice of the coaching staff and organization, and also the voice of winning. I think if you have a leader that can do that, sometimes that leader's vocal, sometimes that leader leads by example, but you usually know who that is.
That free throw missing.
The athleticism and blinding speed White possesses is impressive. This guy plays with a lot of moxie.
And he can't hit the second.
I can't believe he missed those shots. Wow, he is usually lights out from there.
Wasted no time on that one. Mitchell's got the lead up to 4 now for the Jazz.
And the signing of Bojan Bogdanovic, a great move for the Jazz. With his shooting, more spacing for Gobert and Mitchell to operate, he's capable of creating shots on his own as well.
Now Bogdanovic, after Lowry Markkanen misses from long range. Bogdanovic left side. Pass to Gobert. And that one drops for him.
Now, this is why Gobert is shooting over 60% for his career. Highly efficient inside.
Now White still getting warmed up offensively. No scoring yet from him. And here's Porter. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line. It's going to go on Bojan Bogdanovic.
In his last year of college, Porter got to the line 5 times a game. But in his NBA career, he's gotten there less than 1.5 times a game.
It's his first trip to the line.
And converted more than 4 out of every 5 free throw attempts last year. So just solid at the line.
Shooting 2.
Free throw good. Porter.
Well, the former Georgetown Hoya, Otto Porter, was on the move last season. Traded at the deadline to Chicago, who are in need of a player like Porter who can shoot from outside.
Catching up on the changes for Chicago. Thaddeus Young. He's checked in for Wendell Carter. And Chris Dunn subbed in for White. And Porter drops them both. There's 38 seconds left to play in the third. Conley with it. 5 points in the game. The pass to Bogdanovic. Shot clock at 6. Shoots from 14. Up again. Davis on the follow. Davis has got his second bucket of the game to go.
And that's a pure hustle play, getting to the offensive glass for the tip-in.
And that's the kind of quality you see in any strong offensive rebounder, isn't it? Here's Levine. From deep three-point range, and the last-second attempt doesn't fall. And so it's the Utah Jazz, with their lead standing at 6 points here at the end of the quarter. Their defense has been active and effective. We come back right after this. And now let's go back to a play from earlier as we show you our State Farm assist of the game.
And I'm glad this was the pick because I love this pass. Such a great dish. That's what I call court vision.
Yeah, you also have the location of the pass. Puts it right where it needs to be, where his man can do something with it.
Three-tenths quarters behind us. One more to go. Thanks for being with us as we begin the fourth. Jazz leading by 6. They've got Dunn. Also Thomas Satoransky out there. Young is out there with Valentine. And it's Hutchinson in at the 4-man position. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago.
Just look at the way Mitchell's built. The strength in the upper body.
And here's Dunn. He'll bring it up for the Bulls. Down low. And it's Young finishing it off.
A little undersized at the 4, but he can get off the ground.
Here's the Jazz with the ball. Now here's Conley. And it's Bogdanovich in the corner. Here's Davis. Valentine grabs the board.
Even though he missed it, this is the exact play your offense is designed to produce.
Done outside. Pass to Young, over Conley, and that one goes long. The Jazz have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start the fourth quarter. Here's Mitchell. Davis. Davis on the follow.
Timeout.
Davis has got the lead up to 8 now for the Jazz.
The uncanny ability to time the tip in. He does this night in and night out.
Chicago calls timeout. They're down by 8. There's 48 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And now let's present our Jordan Player of the Game, Ed Davis.
And his percentage from the field tonight seems almost made up. I didn't think it was possible to have that kind of success shooting the basketball. You need a little bit of luck, a bunch of hard work, and a whole lot of talent.
If he could only contribute like this for them every night, you can't overstate how much better it makes this team when he has a game like this, and on the road no less. Now here's Levine. Up and in on the layup.
You see Levine's filled out his frame, shakes off contact, and completes the play.
Here's Conley, and they go to the intentional foul. And that's an intentional foul. Drops the first one, and that makes it a 7-point lead.
The fourth pick in the 2011 draft, it took getting stronger and improving the shot to make Conley one of the better all-around guards in the game.
So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's an 8-point game. 7-second difference, shot and game clock. Here's Levine. Gobert with the block.
And that's one of Gobert's specialties, a shot blocking master.
Well, for the Jazz, they can just run out the clock. Now Mitchell. And so it's Utah with the win. They came in here and took care of business like they were the home team.
And Kevin, how about the mental toughness that this group showed? They were never rattled at all by the opposing fans.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much, Mike. Congrats on the win. It looked like you guys stayed with your identity tonight. You think so?
Yeah, we wanted to just play our game, stick to what we do best, get the ball inside, score in the paint, just try to make easy plays. And I think that's what we did, and we're able to just build off of that.
You guys are one of the best teams at staying to what you do. Congrats on the win. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. And that'll wrap it up, folks. Now for Greg Anthony, Steve Smith, and David Aldridge. This is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA here on 2K Sports. See you later.